Welcome back to Nano Education. In this lecture, I want to give an introduction to our Python course for complete beginners. So let's begin. The first pretty obvious question to begin with is, what is Python in general? Python is a general programming language that is growing and used daily. As a beginner, Python is a great choice if you want to start programming or learning a programming language. Often Python is usually learned after a programming language, but I have found after much research. So I've done a lot of research and found out that if you want to, Python's a great language to start with because it's pretty like what I would describe like this language would be as if it's pretty like common. It shares a lot of characteristics with a lot of other languages. And anyway, Python is a very more general wide language that you can use. You're able to do a lot more with it. So if you are like an enthusiast, you're like, I want to learn a programming language, Python should be your first choice. To follow this course, you literally have everything you need to begin this course. And what I mean by that is, if you're watching this video, like if you're able to watch this introduction video, then you're ready to go. I mean, you have everything in your hands probably by now. So as a matter of fact, I just recently found out that you can write Python on a mobile device. So in the installation video, I will show you how to install Python on your phone. So I will be displaying it on an iPhone, but in the resources for this lecture, you will find a link to an article that shows you how to do it for Android as well. So finally, a course that allows you to use your phone. Well, you can write Python on your phone, but if you do have a keyboard, I will highly suggest that you do so. That way you can you're not going to strain your fingers by writing it on a phone. Instead, a keyboard will be much more helpful. But if you have like a laptop or a computer, it's even better, since you'll find yourself enjoying to code on a computer more than on your phone. I mean, a phone will be like your beginner, like you just want to start off by coding on your phone. But then once you find yourself more into it, you might want to start on a computer. But starting on a computer will be better. So it doesn't matter what operating system your computer runs, since some quick Google searches can bring up steps to begin programming on an old computer. And you can even program on Chrome OS. So that's a good thing. Alright? Basically, you can have a computer running with Windows XP, you can program on it. Doesn't matter. So, the most common question I get from those who want to who are beginning a language will be that if it's hard. Well, my answer is that just like you cannot judge a book by its cover, I mean, do never judge a book by its cover, then judging the language before trying it out is something that you shouldn't do. You can learn a language that has a high learning curve, but once you get used to it, it shouldn't even feel that hard. One thing you have to keep in your mind is not to give up. If you're writing a program with me and for some reason you end up getting an error, do not give it there. Do not put that stop sign or do not mark it like that's the end I'm going. Instead, try to compare your code to mine. Double check the steps you have taken. See if you can maybe start again what I've done. Maybe you might fix your problem. And who knows, you may have made a simple mistake because you learn from your mistake. So if you make this mistake today, in the future when you get to this mistake again, you might actually be able to fix it immediately or never have to do it again. So something that you can do very simply is by for every code that I'll be writing, is always in the resources section, basically the description section. You can just grab it from there, copy and paste it into your editor, and see if it runs. If it runs, then if you do not get an error, right? Then that means that there's an issue with your code, all right? You probably have made a typo or something. But if it doesn't run, gives you an error just like mine, then leave the error in the comment section below, and then someone should help you, or I'll even I'll try my best to answer every question that's in the comment section. One proven thing is that if you give up, then you have basically blocked your future. For example, let's say you decided not to go to Canada, right? Like you want to see something, but you don't want to go to Canada. Well, you had to block your opportunities for that. Or let's just say you have a job opening in Oklahoma or somewhere, right? Well, if you you block yourself from not going to Oklahoma, then you have just blocked the opportunity of that job. Alright, so the most important component of any course is the learning method, since you have to understand what you're doing. Personally, my method for teaching is basically just giving you the foundation to understand. Every lesson you watch will have a very organized structure. So every lesson begins with the concept where we will be discussing in the lecture, alright? So, then we move on to the concept notes, which is basically where I compare the concept to a real life example, I give a couple of ideas on how the concept can be used. Then we will look at some code examples. Afterwards, I'll go over how to remember the concept. One quick note, you do not have to remember the concept, alright? Just knowing what the concept does is very good, alright? So, once we have gone through the slide, we will do some actual coding. So at this part, you should be able to get your hands messy and follow me coding. For almost every concept, I will aim to have some sort of program that we can build so you have something to take away from each concept. So you can have something to display to your family, friends, whatever. We will conclude the lesson by doing a quick review question, which will be either multiple choice or a short response. Finally, I will end up with a self-reflect. So a self-reflect is basically where you reflect on a concept and I leave you off on a note, like something that should shape the concept better for yourself. Maybe, so like a self-reflect sometimes might be like summarizing, maybe, who knows. Or it might be like, well, what did you think about this, alright? Before learning a programming language, we are always interested in knowing what we can do with it. And I'm serious. If you know what you can do with it, you might actually be setting goals already once you know what you can do with it. And then you actually might be more interested. So, I just want to give you a quick note. Python is even used by YouTube. So, for example, when you're watching a YouTube video or something, that suggested list of videos, well, that uses Python algorithms. So, it's an algorithm written in Python that basically sees what you've been watching and then showing you suggested results. All right. So YouTube also uses Python, which basically is a framework. So YouTube uses a framework Django, which is basically used when we watch videos, upload videos, and much more. So like basically the whole backend of YouTube is mostly Python. So you can use Python to create like large scale applications, like maybe an airline website. You can create your own voice assistant. So you might be able to create a next Siri or even Bixby. You work with home automation. You can also work with artificial intelligence, which is basically what YouTube's algorithm does, and much more. Mainly, the main reason most people learn a programming language is to get in that career for that language, as the needed for developers has been increasing almost daily. For some quick facts, I've included that a data scientist makes an average of $128,000 per year, and a Python developer on average makes $110,000 per year. These numbers are variable depending on your area, so these numbers could be different in New Jersey. These numbers could be different in the UK, anywhere, alright? So, and it also depends on your experience level and how well you can solve problems. Because if you struggle to solve a problem, then this could be lower. And it also depends on how well you might be getting hired. Before I start getting questions on the amount of time it takes to learn Python, I've already included it, alright? So basically, the gist is that the time of learning Python is unpredictable since every person has a different perspective of learning Python, especially your level of commitment. So basically, depending on the goal that you want to set, to get to that goal is unpredictable, alright? So for example, if you just want to learn the Python language basics and major concepts, then you should be over in like a month or two. Like if you just want to know straight up what is a Python basics and start creating some basic programs, good to go, 1 to 2 months. But if let's just say you can learn daily, maybe once a week or twice a week, well, you should be looking at a time frame of 3 months or more. But if you want to learn, let's just say automation, like you want to know, let's just say how to make something happen automatically or something, then you'll be looking at like a time frame of 3 or more months. Your outlook will be more than 3 months. Or if let's just say you want to learn complete Python, like you want to learn like all the frameworks included. You want to learn how to create a voice assistant, like basics of creating a voice assistant, the foundation, and everything. Then it could be even 4 months or 3 months longer. All right, you could be, even if you're learning weekly, it'll even take more than 6 months. All right, these are like the basic. Like, if you're every time you add a new goal, you add time to it. All right. So I hope this lecture gave you a great overview of the course, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment in the comment section below, or if you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comment section as well, and I'll see you in the next lecture.